Quant is ripping to the upside after our call out a few days back and has just broken out of a downtrending channel with much more room to run in my opinion. We got the Nasdaq congratulating Ripple for their $250 million acquisition of Medico as they too look to launch their own crypto custody service alongside traditional finance giants like Fidelity and BNY Mellon. And Binance is facing some trouble in Australia while Crypto.com only continues with their global expansion, which could mean very good things for CRO coin in the future. We are going to break down all of this for you guys and more in today's daily market update. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Everything Crypto Show. Now, hopping right in here to start things off with the market overview. We got Bitcoin sitting at 27.6K, up 3% on the week, and Ether at 1887, up 3.8% on the week. The biggest mover here in the top 10 has been XRP, up about 6.5% in the past 7 days, as people do expect a conclusion to the lawsuit at some point this year. Now, taking a look at the charts as well, we did say on Sunday we were keeping a very close eye on Bitcoin's weekly close, mainly hoping that it was able to hold above the 200-week moving average, which is the orange line here on the charts. Now, given that Bitcoin did close above the 200-week MA, it would appear that crypto does want to remain bullish, and I do think here that Bitcoin is going to go up for a retest of $31,000, which was the peak back here in April. So the 200-week moving average is historically a very strong indicator of support for Bitcoin, and essentially when Bitcoin is above it, the market is bullish. When Bitcoin is below it, the market is bearish, and this most recent bear market was actually the first one in history where Bitcoin not only broke below the 200-week MA, but also spent a sustained period of time below it. We can see here in August of 2022 that Bitcoin actually got rejected at the 200-week moving average at around $23,000. And later that year is when we did see Bitcoin finally bottom out at about 15.5K. So it actually collapsed about 32% from being rejected at the 200-week moving average. And that's why this backtest was very important in my opinion. You can actually see here if we zoom in that Bitcoin also got rejected at the 200-week MA in February of this year, came back down from 25.5K down to 20,000, a strong area of support, and then ripped above the 200-week moving average, which did lead to that run up to $31,000. And to kind of give you some perspective on just why the 200-week MA is so important, I'm going to put us on a long-term chart here, and we can see here that the blue line is the 200-week MA, and then the line on top is the Bitcoin price action. And you can see historically speaking that, yeah, the 200-week MA has made for a very good buying opportunity, except for this most recent bear market. So if Bitcoin can hold above this level, I do believe the crypto market will remain bullish. So all eyes are still on the 200-week moving average for myself personally, but the fact that we did close above it signals to me we have another week of good price action ahead. Now, just as Bitcoin actually did validate the 200-week moving average as support, Ethereum validated the bull market support band as support. And personally, I think the 200-week MA and the bull market support band are the two strongest technical indicators for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And they are important to watch because obviously these two blue chips do dictate where the rest of the crypto market moves. So just as I expect Bitcoin to creep its way back up to 31,000, I do expect Ether to creep its way back up to $2,000 after getting rejected here at a double top back in mid-April, and also getting rejected here once again in early May. So I think that a retest of $2,000 is coming in for Ether, and that's what I will be looking for on the charts when it comes to both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, hopping into the news here, we have Peter Schiff, an outspoken Bitcoin bear, actually launching his own ordinals on the Bitcoin blockchain. So for some context here, we've been talking about Peter Schiff, or we have covered him a couple of times on the channel, as he has these ridiculously bearish kind of tweets about Bitcoin. So just a little bit of proof here to kind of back up our claims. We can see here on August 14th of 2022, he said, just to put things into perspective, take a look at this chart. This pattern remains very bearish. There's both a double top and a head and shoulders top. There's a rising wedge forming below the neckline, at a minimum, support will be tested below $10,000. Look out below. Obviously, Bitcoin never ended up hitting 10K. It bottomed out at 15.5K as we discussed on the charts. So once again, here on August 26, Peter Schiff tweeted, "It's not looking good, hodlers. I don't think my son Spencer K. Schiff wished for a Bitcoin crash for his birthday. Hopefully he doesn't make the mistake of assuming the crash is a birthday gift to buy some cheap sats. No matter how low the price, sats will always be expensive." And then on Christmas, we saw Peter Schiff once again tweet, "My Christmas gift to hodlers is this Bitcoin chart. As you can see, Bitcoin is much closer to its ceiling than its floor. The yellow line that was once support is now resistance. Since the upside potential is so low and downside risk so high, the smart move is to sell today." And somebody responded here saying major buy signal from Peter Schiff, and he responded, "Don't misunderstand my gift. My gift is all the money you will save by selling your Bitcoin today. You can thank me later." And this is when Bitcoin was trading at 16.8K, now currently sitting at 27.6K. Enough said there. So recently, we saw Peter Schiff here go ahead and tweet, "I'm pleased to announce an art project with one of my favorite artists, Market Price. This collaboration features the original painting Golden Triumph, as well as a series of prints and ordinals inscribed on the Bitcoin blockchain." So Peter Schiff, who is outspokenly bearish on Bitcoin, has now launched his very own ordinals collection, and he was kind of just asking for the Bitcoin community to dunk on him. In fact, we got Anthony Pompliano here tweet, "Welcome, Peter. We have been awaiting your arrival." And he says, "I haven't arrived yet, but here's your chance to buy something to commemorate what you hope will be the early days of Bitcoin and its most steadfast critic. If I'm wrong, these singed original prints may have a lot of value one day." And the Lunar Crush here tweeted, "You do know that you need to buy Bitcoin to participate in ordinals, right?" So honestly, this is hilarious. The fact that we have one of the biggest Bitcoin bears actually launching his very own ordinals collection. Obviously, he is trying to just kind of do a cash grab here and make money based on how bearish he is on Bitcoin. But I think this just speaks to the broader theme of the bears being proven wrong time and time again. Bitcoin has proven so many haters wrong in its history, and I do think it will continue to do so. But I couldn't help but get a good chuckle out of this, the fact that Peter Schiff is now launching his very own ordinals collection on the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, talking about Ethereum, we have Van Eck here, who is saying that a $51,000 Ether may be on the table by 2030, aligned with their most bullish case assumption. So this is kind of like the general thesis of this paper. And they say that in light of Ethereum's recent hard fork, which allows users to withdraw staked ETH and in our view creates a major new competitor to US Treasury bills, we revisited our Ethereum estimates with a more rigorous valuation model. So basically what they say here, and this is a key quote from the article, is they say, "We base these estimates on the thesis that Ethereum becomes the dominant open source global settlement network that hosts substantial portions of the commercial activity of business sectors with the highest potential to gain from moving their business functions to public blockchains. In a portfolio of similar smart contract platforms, we assume to own a collection of call options with the dominant platform likely to take a majority market share." So they say here, assuming that Ethereum is no longer the top settlement system or smart contract platform with only 15% dominance, Van Eck says ETH could disintegrate as low as $343 by 2030. If things go well for Ethereum, Van Eck lays out a base case price target of 11.8K and a bull case target of $51,000. And you can actually see that right on the chart here, their base case, their bear case, and their bullish case, and how they have actually accounted for and kind of come up with these final numbers. And they say here, finally, we assert that ETH is evolving beyond a transactional currency or a consumable commodity like oil or natural gas. We believe that ETH, while not a complete store of value like Bitcoin, due to Ethereum's demonstrated mutability of code and an evolving social consensus focused on utility, will nevertheless become a store of value asset for state actors looking to maximize human capital, versus Bitcoin, which maximizes for stranded energy. Now, it's kind of worth noting that base case, or the bear case, they said, of Ethereum only taking up about 15% of DeFi transactions. I mean, personally, I don't think that's going to be the case. At the moment, Ether makes up 2/3 of all transaction value on DeFi. And I was actually taking a look at this yesterday. I looked at this in Sunday's video, but basically, if we go ahead and take a look at Ethereum and then compare it to other blockchains, a lot of them have remained flat on the year, while Ethereum actually has continued to grow ever since January 1st. It has seen a lot of TVL come back onto this platform, and I do think that Ethereum will remain the king of DeFi for the foreseeable future. So do I think $51,000 is coming by 2030? Honestly, absolutely not, but very interesting to hear their thoughts on this. And I do think that in the long run, Ether does in fact have that 5-figure price potential. And speaking of 5-figure price potential, I do want to hop into the altcoin news now, starting off with Quant here. So we tweeted today, Quant with a clean breakout above the downtrending channel that it has been in since moving from $100 to $160 at the start of 2023. Once again, saw strong demand in our buying zone, and Quant is now up about 13% in the past 3 days. The breakout is just beginning, in my opinion, as we do get out of this downtrend here. So Quant is also respecting its long-term uptrend versus Bitcoin with a nice bounce at support like we called for a few days back. Expect this altcoin gem to continue outperforming Bitcoin like it has since 2021. First profit-taking zone, $1,000. Long-term price target, $10,000. So taking a look at the Quant chart here, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead and move Quant onto a 5-year chart. Actually, we're going to go ahead and put it on a 1-year here. And you can see that ever since Quant peaked at about 160 back in late January, it had been following this downtrending channel, just making a series of lower lows. However, now we have finally broken out above this downtrending channel after finally bleeding back to a strong support zone at $100. And to zoom out and give you some perspective on just how important this $100 zone is, we can even go back here to 2021. So we can see that in June of 2021, Quant actually got rejected at $100. It came all the way back down here to about $55 and then proceeded to rip above $100. And once it broke above $100, it was off to the races and rallied over 320% up to that all-time high of $428. Now, the bottom of this buying zone is at 85, which has also been a very strong buying opportunity in the past. We can see here back in January of 2022 that the first time Quant hit 85 bucks, it rallied 88% up to $158. And then we saw back here in February, Quant hit about $95 and then rallied 62% up to $154. So really anywhere from $100 to $85 has historically been a very strong buying opportunity for this project. And after Quant did bottom out at $42 here in June of last year, which is when we started really covering this project here, was in this double-digit territory, we can see once again $85 being a very big trading area for Quant. From here, it went from 85 bucks up to $130, and then here in September, this thing ran from 85 bucks up to $228. Now, even if you hadn't bought at $85 and just bought at that breakout above 100, you would still have seen a nice gain of 125% to that October peak. And again here in the new year, like clockwork, Quant did hit $100 for another 60% rally back up to 160. So really not too surprising that Quant, after hitting this buy zone, is once again a top performer, and I do expect this outperformance to continue just as it has been going on really since 2021. And we're going to take a look at the Quant versus Bitcoin valuation to just get a better understanding of this outperformance. And we can see here that Quant has been respecting this long-term uptrending channel that it has been making versus Bitcoin. So we can see here that it did hit this back in May of 2021. It went on to outperform Bitcoin here by about 1,300% more or less, and then from here it continued to underperform Bitcoin until once again hitting this trend line back in June of 2022, which did coincide with the bottom of the bear market for Quant, and then it proceeded to outperform Bitcoin by 448% up to that run in October of last year where it peaked at about 228. Now, once again, after underperforming Bitcoin since October of last year, we have bounced off that trend line, and I do expect that Quant is going to continue just that longer term outperformance of Bitcoin. Keep in mind that Bitcoin with a 21 million total supply, Quant has a 14.8 mil total supply, a much smaller market cap than Bitcoin, as well as utility to boot. And to put things into perspective here, we're going to actually go to the coin perspective, ironically, and I'm going to show you guys just exactly how much Quant would be worth if we do see it at a market cap like Bitcoin's or Ethereum's. So just for example, if Quant had Bitcoin's market cap of 536 billion, one Quant would be worth, actually it's not 36.9k because they have the supply here wrong. Let's put it up to 14.8. And yeah, if one Quant had Bitcoin's market cap of 536 bill, one Quant would be worth 36.1k. That is an upside of 325x. If Quant had Ethereum's current market cap, it would be worth 15.3k, an upside of 137x. If Quant had XRP's market cap of 25.3 bill, it would have a potential price of $1,700, a 14x from current prices. Now, on the note of XRP, we did actually see NASDAQ, a company who works with the SEC and offers securities trading, congratulating Ripple for their acquisition of Medico. Now, we covered this acquisition here, I believe it was, maybe a week ago on the channel. Blockchain firm Ripple, okay, how do I get rid of this thing? There we go, has acquired Swiss-based crypto custody provider Medico for $250 million. The purchase will allow Ripple to expand its offerings by incorporating the technology to custody, issue, and settle tokenized assets. Medico offers customers crucial and secure custody infrastructure, allowing institutions to scale new business models in the crypto economy. Diversifying into custody solutions will bring new revenue opportunities, Ripple said, adding that its acquisition is part of a strategy to broaden its presence beyond the US and its uncertain regulatory landscape. So given the fact that NASDAQ, obviously, as they do issue stocks, it does work with the SEC, I find it pretty funny that they did congratulate Ripple on their acquisition of Medico during this lawsuit, and also kind of funny that the NASDAQ themselves are looking to release a crypto custody platform for Bitcoin, currently eyeing Q2 of 2023. And this is very much in line with what we have seen from other traditional asset managers like both Fidelity and BNY Mellon. And we saw the senior VP and head of NASDAQ Digital Assets say that they are pushing ahead to get all the necessary and technical infrastructure and regulatory approvals in place. So we see here Fidelity now has their very own digital assets page in which they are custodying as well as allowing the trading of Bitcoin through their app. And then we got BNY Mellon, the largest custodian bank with over $43 trillion in traditional assets under custody. We can see here that they are supporting the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust as well as support for pure crypto funds with a wide range of currencies beyond both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So the fact that the largest custodian bank here is in fact not only offering Bitcoin and Ether but altcoins does show that they are bullish on not just the blue chips but also some of these altcoins here. And the fact that we see traditional finance giants getting into crypto shows you they recognize the power of this technology and the potential returns this asset class will most likely offer in the next 5 to 10 years, in my opinion. Now, to wrap things up, I do want to talk about Binance here as they suspended AUD fiat services, citing issues with a third party. So they say here that their local payments provider Zepto was instructed to stop support for the exchange. And on May 18th, this is what they tweeted. So I'm going to actually bring us here over to this tweet. And they start off saying, fellow Binanceans, we regret to inform you that with immediate effect, we are unable to facilitate Pay ID AUD deposits for Binance users due to a decision made by our third-party payment service provider. We understand from our third-party payment service provider that bank transfer withdrawals will also be impacted, and we will advise users on timeline when this is confirmed. We are working hard to find an alternative provider to continue offering AUD deposits and withdrawals to our users. Notably, you can still buy and sell crypto using credit or debit card, and our Binance P2P marketplace will also continue to operate as usual. Rest assured that your funds are safe, and Insurance Fund is offering protection to Binance users and their funds in the event of extreme situations. And they tweet here that they've confirmed that their partner will allow users to continue to withdraw AUD until June 1st, and they are working hard to find an alternative provider to continue offering AUD deposits and withdrawals to users. So Binance here is having some trouble with actually getting kind of operating in Australia. We saw here the email went out with a notice of suspension for AUD fiat services. And the thing here is that if you're a little more crypto savvy, yes, there obviously are workarounds to this, but for people who are more new to the cryptoverse, who are familiar with just transferring and buying crypto from these centralized exchanges, I do think that makes it a lot more challenging for Australian users. And this comes at a time when Crypto.com does continue with their global regulation and expansion. In fact, we can see here that based on their announcement back on October 12th of 2022, that Crypto.com has gained regulatory approval throughout this bear market in many different places. We can see here France, Singapore, we also have Dubai, we have South Korea, Australia, Greece, the Cayman Islands, Italy, as well as a pre-registration undertaking with the Ontario Securities Commission and Canada Securities Administrators. So clearly we see that Crypto.com here is working very hard on that regulation and global expansion, something I do think will work to their advantage in the next bull run as they do look to onboard the next wave of crypto users. And if there are different products like the Crypto.com Visa cards, as well as the Crypto.com exchange, which does offer you better trading rates for locking up CRO, if these products can incentivize people to not only buy CRO, but also hold it to continue receiving these benefits, this could mean very good things for the adoption and the price action of CRO in the future. So on that note, I hope you did enjoy the content in today's video. You know what to do. If you made it all the way to the end, you are an absolute champion. Let me know in the YouTube comments down below and claim that champion status. I hope you are all having an amazing day and hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out for now.